Trump's FCC chief opens investigation into NPR and PBS. Senior Treasury official quits after clash with Elon Musk over Department of Government Efficiency Access. I call it DOGE. FBI agents who worked on January 6th and Trump investigations are expected to be fired. EPA workers receive emails warning their employment could also be terminated. Trump will impose new tariffs on Mexico, Canada, and China. Websites are being taken down to comply with Trump's executive order. And Defense Intelligence Agency orders pause on special emphasis programs, activities, and events. And wait till you hear the list that's on there. Plus, Donald gives his comments on the Washington plane crash, spewing more venom our way. I have a lot to share with you today. This is A World Gone Mad, Season 2, Episode 59. I'm your host, Jeff Allen Wolf. Hello, everyone. More chaos today. It seems like this is now the new norm. Thank you all for joining me again, both the existing Wolfpack listeners and to the new Blue Sky listeners joining every single day. And here we go. Trump's FCC chief opens its investigation into NPR and PBS. FCC chief Brendan Carr alleges that underwriting announcements from NPR and PBS member stations may be crossing the line into prohibited commercial advertisements. Now, NPR and PBS maintain that their sponsorships comply with FCC regulations and believe they can prove it. Democratic FCC Commissioner Jeffrey Starks criticizes the investigation as a potential threat to the free flow of information and the possible defunding of NPR and PBS. The story is still unfolding. More details are going to come out. But again, Donald, the delusional one, and his people are now invading into every area of our life. And if the FCC is attacking NPR and PBS, how soon before they go after, MSNBC and any other media outlet that speaks out against Donald? Senior Treasury official quits after clash with Elon Musk over the Department of Government Efficiency Access. I still like calling it DOGE. The highest-ranking career Treasury official resigned after a fight with Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency and his associates over access to sensitive payment systems. Now, David A. LeBrick, who has served in non-political roles at the Treasury Department since 1989, announced his retirement today, the Washington Post reported. He was appointed as acting Treasury Secretary by President Donald Trump until Scott Bessent was confirmed this past Monday. Now, LeBrick had a dispute with DOGE officials over access to payment systems that disperse trillions of dollars for government services. DOGE officials have been asking for access to the system since the election. The details of the rift aren't clear, according to the Post. The payment system disperses over $6 trillion annually, for little services like Medicare and Social Security. The system also pays out tax refunds, salaries for federal workers, and payments to government contractors. Trump's executive order creating DOGE also granted it full and prompt access to all unclassified agency records, software systems, and IT systems. And co-president Elon Musk is taking advantage of this. He has no real authority over that other than, a verbal from Donald Trump. He's not officially part of the government. He's not part of any of the official cabinet positions, although he's running it like he's the president. You know what I wish mainstream media would do? And I've watched a lot this past week. In every conversation they bring up about Donald Trump, which is constant, they should call him co-president Trump, co-president Musk. make it a part of their standard verbiage. That will get under Donald, the wannabe dictator's skin. That will piss him off. That will allow us to use Donald's fragile ego against Musk. And maybe co-president Trump says goodbye to co-president Elon. I think that's how we fight fire with fire. We attack and push Donald's ego to the brink. FBI agents who worked on January 6th and Trump investigations are expected to be fired by this coming Monday. The Trump administration is set to expand a purge of career law enforcement officials, with dozens of FBI agents who investigated January 6, 2021, the U.S. Capitol attack, and Trump-related investigations, as well as some supervisors being evaluated for possible removal as soon as the end of this weekend, according to people briefed on the matter. Now, the changes highlight how the new administration has moved quickly to deliver on President Donald Trump's vow to strike back at the Justice Department and FBI that he claims have been weaponized against him. Trump has falsely accused agents of abuse in their court-ordered search of his Mar-a-Lago home and of their treatment of Capitol rioters. Now, this has now been expanded today, late, to possibly 2,000 FBI agents potentially to be fired by Monday. 2,000. And this is illegal. They cannot do this. It's not an at-will state. You can't just fire somebody because you don't like their mustache. The FBI agency has protections against the agents and the staff. Donald is doing a massive illegal firing. So you realize that several thousand FBI agents, with some exceptions, that's 90 to 95% of the FBI agents. Our country is being put in the most dangerous situation it's ever been in a long time. This leaves us vulnerable to cyber attack, terrorist attacks, China, Russia, third party, whatever. This is bad. And I want to know what the Republicans are doing about this, not the Democrats. The Democrats are overwhelmed, but the Republicans are not saying anything. But privately, there's been reports that senior Republican leaders are very anxious, with anxiety, let's call it that way, about what Donald's doing. But they need to step up. Otherwise, they're just giving our country away for the taking. EPA workers also receive emails warning that their employment could be terminated. What is Donald doing? Purging everyone out of the way. More than 1,100 employees at the Environmental Protection Agency received notice this week that they were deemed to be on probationary status and warning they could be fired immediately, according to an email obtained by CNN. Now, probationary employees receiving the email have been working at the agency for less than a year. The emails began to go out late on Wednesday afternoon, according to an EPA union official. Trump will impose new tariffs on Mexico, Canada, and China on Saturday, White House says. President Donald Trump will move forward with aggressive new tariffs on Canada, Mexico, and China. The White House is confirming that he will stick to his February 1st deadline for the new duties that could have widespread effects on the economy. Canadian officials are expected to meet with White House border czar Tom Homan on Friday. That was today, so we don't know if that meeting took place or not. And in a bid to reach a deal that would stave off the proposed tariffs, according to two sources familiar with the meeting. But Leavitt's confirmation of the new tariffs appeared to end speculation on whether the president would follow through on the pledge he made as a candidate to levy the new duties. Placing significant tariffs on the United States' biggest trading partners serves as a gamble that taxing American companies for imported goods will ultimately punish the countries that make stuff Americans want, bring those nations to the negotiating table. But it's a risky bet that could easily backfire on American consumers and the economy. We wind up getting hurt. Mexico's president said Friday that her country was awaiting any potential U.S. tariffs with a cool head. We have a plan A, B, C for whatever the U.S. government decides. It's very important for the people of Mexico to know that we will always defend our people's dignity, our sovereignty, and engage in dialogue as equals, President Claudia Sheinbaum told journalists at a daily news conference. No one on either side of the border wants to see American tariffs on Canadian goods, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said. I met with our Canada US Council today. We're working hard to prevent these tariffs. But if the United States moves ahead, Canada is ready with a forceful and immediate response, he added. So countries are pushing back against Donald, and he's putting the American population in peril with higher consumer goods. Way to go, Donald. Let's make America great again. And if that wasn't enough damage by co-president Donald Trump, or is it co-president Elon Musk? I don't know who's really running the country right now. But CDC websites and data sets were taken down as the agency complies with Trump executive order. Several U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention websites and data sets related to HIV, LGBTQ people, youth health behaviors, and more have been removed after the agency was directed to comply with an executive order from co-president Donald Trump. Trump's order defending women from gender ideology extremism and restoring biological truth to the federal government requires the federal government to recognize two sexes, male and female. That's what a January 29th memo from the U.S. Office of Personnel Management directing agency heads to remove all outward-facing media, websites, social media accounts that inculcate or promote gender ideology. And they had to do it today by 5 p.m. A senior health official told CNN that staff were told that consequences for noncompliance could be severe. Removal of the language will take time, the official said, so the sites and information were taken down in order to comply. In the process, large swaths of data and science will be unavailable for an undetermined period, the senior health official said. So regardless of your comfort with the idea of trans people, you should be terrified that the government is purging truth and science to fit an ideology, because what's next? The Defense Intelligence Agency orders pause on special emphasis programs, activities, and events. All paused. Ready for the list? Hold on, people. I'm not joking. This is what they don't want to celebrate or have any emphasis on or any connection to whatsoever. Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday. Black History Month. Women's History Month. Holocaust Day and Days of Remembrance. Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month. Pride. Anything to do with Pride Movement. Juneteenth. Women's Equality Day, National Hispanic Heritage Month, National Disability Employment Awareness Month, National American Indian Heritage Month. Small puppies that don't walk as fast, people who don't like jazz music or country. This is stupid. If this doesn't alarm you, then I don't know what will. You need to share this with everyone. Whether verbally, on your Facebook page or your Blue Sky page, you need to let people know about this. Elon Trump, or Donald Musk, is tearing this country apart hour by hour, people. Tell everyone. And what I'm suggesting is call your representative, whether it be local, whether it be state senator, whether it be congressman or woman. Talk to these people, get to these, people in your zip code and let them know you're outraged by this. Complain. Tell your friends and family who are trying not to be connected to social media. Don't hide. Don't ignore. This is a purging of our rights and freedoms. Now, you know how to reach me by now. And if you don't, and you're new, there are multiple ways. Email wolfpacklistener@gmail.com. WOLF-PACK listener. My toll-free 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week phone number. It's just a voicemail system, people. You don't need to worry. Nobody's going to pick up. 833-399-9653. Would love to hear from some of you. And please come join me on Blue Sky. Get the hell off of Facebook. What are you still doing on Facebook? Go to Blue Sky. You can find me at Wolf on the Air. No spaces. When you search WOLFONTHEAIR all together. Join a great, fast-growing community. And when you leave your comments, all I ask is for your first name, city, and state where you're listening from to the podcast. And if you're out of the country, which country? All comments are welcome, good or bad. Apathy is not an option. I would like to leave you with the following. And this is about Donald being Donald. Donald Trump, right after the tragic crash that happened in Washington, D.C., and yes, there was another crash tonight, but the crash that happened in Washington, D.C., Donald used this tragedy for his typical attack and destroy with no empathy tactic. The normal way of doing things in a disaster would be a president who comes out and shows sympathy for the families and states, as president, we are investigating, trying to find out more details, and we are offering any assistance we can. And the president should leave it at that. But Donald has to go further. He blamed the Democrats and Obama and Biden. I'm not joking. He blamed Democrats, Obama, and Biden, saying their policies were the cause of the crash. Seriously? Let me give you a timeline before the crash, not the timeline of the crash, but these are things that happened before the crash in the previous week. Some of you may not know this, okay? So please listen to each fact. Fact. January 20th, FAA Director of Aviation fired. Fact. January 21st, Air Traffic Controller hiring frozen. Fact. January 22nd, Aviation Safety Advisory Committee was disbanded. Fact. January 28th, buyout retirement demand was sent to existing employees. Fact. January 29th, first American mid-air collision in 16 years. Yep, let's make America great again, President Donald Musk. Donald Trump is like the little angry boy who runs at a bunch of birds on the grass just so he can be incredibly happy seeing their startled wing flapping and watching them fly away frenzied. He wants to cause disruptions. Then he relishes in the impact, totally oblivious about the real pain that he's inflicting. Donald's goal is chaos, destruction, lunatic behavior with his actions. There is no uplifting of spirit. There is no energizing America with any future goals of greatness other than saying repeatedly, make America great again, make America great again. And he's doing it by destroying every institution, every key agency that someone is in charge of, and any enemy of Donald gets run over by him. Donald the Destructor. To all the Wolfpack listeners, old and new, there are so many better things that our country, America, can become. And Donald is not moving us in that direction at all. Would love to hear your thoughts. Come on, Wolfpack listeners. Share, email, text, phone. And join the Wolfpack. It's free. The benefit of joining the Wolfpack, you'll always get to hear my podcast for free. You will never be charged in the future any subscription fee. Hey, World Gone Mad. We'll be back Monday night or Tuesday morning, depending on when you listen, with a new episode. I'm Jeff Allen Wolf. Have a great weekend, and please stay hopeful.
There is chaos in the world. Can't you see?